I noticed that you said certain things about Ifan, and the only thing I can say is that when people have not gone and immersed themselves in those particular traditions, you know, it's kind of, yeah, I don't think that it's wise to talk about what you really don't have a clue of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if your thing is Haitian Bokor,
mm-hmm.
you know, you're a Hogan or a Bokor,
mm-hmm.
you know, or the Warren Mumbo, you know, that is fine. But you know,
I don't think I've said anything. I don't think that I've said anything bad about Ifa. I just said when it comes to working.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm calling you about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you say that there are two different things, and I dare to say from what.
Well, I would say that I'm very familiar. I would say that I'm very familiar with Ifa. I'm definitely very familiar with Ifa. You know, as far as the system goes, the carousels, I'm very familiar with that. You know, I'm definitely familiar. I just don't go into depth about it because that's not where my focus is. But when it comes down to what I'm focused on personally is workings. I'm not focused on religious ceremonies. That's a whole nother story. But when it comes down to spiritual work, a lot of people who claim to be Ifa priests, Babalawocalls, or Wugans and things of that nature, their work does not, like it says, it doesn't carry the weight of what they profess to people. What I do is work. You know, there's a difference between, you know, religious ceremonies, you know, you're reading carol shells or, you know, you're reading coconut shells, and then the practice. You know, people out here, they want results. When they're coming for whatever workers they're looking for.
I definitely agree with you. I agree with you completely, 100%. I mean, you know, I started in this position, and I never thought that I would be doing this at all. I mean, I got my master's in exercise physiology and sports psychology, so I never thought that I would be entering this type of world. So, but because of my grandmother from the island of Cuba and my grandfather from Oyo, Nigeria, I ended up in this thing. You know, I never in a million years thought that I would be doing this. So, you know, and I believe in results very much so. As a fellow, you know, I feel that, you know, because I've been to Benin, I've been to Dahomey.
But this is my whole thing. This is my whole thing about Benin. You know, to go to Benin, Nigeria. That's nice and all. You know, that's very nice that you've been to those places. But when it boils down to workings, there's a lot of people that claim to be Babalawocalls, a lot of people that claim to be Tatas, Wungans. They've been to Africa, they've been to Haiti, they've been to Cuba, they got scratched and all this. But when it boils down to workings, it doesn't equate to everything that they're professing. You know, their works of their hand does not bear the fruits. You know, it does not bear fruits. You know, so that's my only thing. You know, it's nice that you've been out to these places, but what can your work do? That's my great message to all these people, to everyone who claims and profess, you know, some type of spiritual lineage. You know that they, you know, this is my thing to them. Let your result of your work bear before you start promoting things that are outside of yourself, which is good. Those things, you know, the orishas, the loa, whatever a person wants to get involved with, that's cool. But what people are looking for is results. It doesn't matter if you're born in Haiti. It doesn't matter if you're born in Africa. You can be born in America, and you can have good, solid work, and that's what the people are looking for. People don't care if you got initiated or if you went to sleep in Haiti. It doesn't matter. People care about results, and that's what I'm about.
That's the same here. Same here. I feel that we're about results. But I see as, you know, Ifa, from what I've seen with my own eyes, because even in the Dominican Republic, I had, you know, Bokors and Mambos and Uganda coming to me in order to put to their pedestal in order to do sacrifices. I'm talking about, you know, not roosters. And one that just showed me that he had a skull and a hole, and to me, okay, great. That I give homage to that. I give reverence to that. But for me, Ifa is the umbrella of all the African traditional practices.
Wait. Let's hold on. Wait. Let's just put like this. Ifa, I would not say is the umbrella of all African practices. I'm just saying, personally, just looking at Africa, Africa is a pretty big continent with many countries. To say that Ifa, just one part of Africa.
Before you start spilling up, hold on. Let me say why. Ifa stands for Indigenous City of Africa. IFA.
Well, that's great. Well, that sounds very well. That's great that you've been able to abbreviate those words and come about with a meaning for those. That's great. But at the end of the day, that's a practice from Nigeria. But you got to understand, there's Congo, there's Ethiopia, there's Senegal. There's all these other places. So that's what you're talking about is the west coast of Africa. That's one place in the west coast of Africa. But there's many other countries there, so they all have their own spiritual traditions. So my whole thing is this: it's not about where you're from; it's where you're at. It's not about what you're professing; it's what you can do.
I agree 100% with you. That's why, when people ask me, because I also have a website, and I don't even pay for that website because other people that own their life, they are paying for that website. It's called Ifa.
But this is my thing. This is the only reason why I said what I said, is because you said that Ifa is the umbrella of all these African spiritual traditions. Now, my thing is, I would where I came in difference to that is the fact that I see it as Ifa is just one. Ifa comes from Nigeria, and Nigeria is just one country in the many others in Africa. So to say that Ifa is the umbrella of all, I cannot agree with that.
That's up to you. I mean,
I think, but don't you think that's very shallow and arrogant to think that one country out of the many that are in Africa is the best?
It's not the best.
If you're saying is the umbrella, then that's saying that it encompasses and it has superior power over all. That's what you're saying.
No. It's not it's just the roots, and then Orisha worship or ancestor worship or Moa worship or Peto worship. They're only leaves of the same tree.
I mean, religion is, at the end of the day, let's look at it like this. Religion is religion. No law. No, Orisha.
You should say the religion is man-made.
Well, exactly. So when we move away from this, right? So when we move away from this, we move away from titles. Forget about Ifa. Forget about voodoo. What we're doing is working with spirits. But when we get into religious, when we get into the religious aspect of it, then that's when we get into confusion. But if we're looking at objective and goals, then we can see eye to eye. But I think that sometimes I got, I would say as the objective of a Bokor is not of a Wunga or a Mombo. His objective is basically to provide the results that people are looking for. So when I speak sometimes about, what it is, because Bokor is still associated with voodoo, even though Bokors are basically the outcasts of voodoo community, they're still associated with voodoo. So when I speak, in a sense, I speak of from my perspective of the voodoo that I practice. The voodoo I practice is not religious. It's about from point A to point B. It's minus all the dancing around and ceremonies and acting foolish. So when I speak about voodoo, I speak about people that see that see on the same line that I do and that practice the way I do. Serious business, man. So listen, check this out. I got to get back to work, but it was great conversating with you. I don't know what to tell you, but I would just wish you the best of luck on your journey. I have to go. Thank you for